right, happy Sunday, everyone. This is this is it, the final full week of April. I know I've said this in a few videos already, but I don't even consider it a joke anymore. It's reality. Time is flying by. It's hard to keep up with what day it is, but this is the final week of April. Lord willing, around this time next month, hopefully things will be somewhat back to normal, if you will. But hope everybody's doing all right. It's a nice sunny day here in Lynchburg. At the very least, or most, I might sit out on the patio if it isn't chilly later today. But I'm over here cracking up looking at these memes and GIFs and videos from the babyface Teddy Riley versus battle last night. And I needed those laughs. But on a more, well, I don't even know if I should say serious topic. This was actually brought up in one of my mini live streams last week, which honestly, I see that people have enjoyed the live streams, you know, here on YouTube, just me in front of the iPod, just talking about various topics, having a good time. So definitely expect more of that this week. Could Larry be the father of Alex's baby? That is a loaded question. Honestly, I think Larry might be the only male character I haven't done a video on. I've done a couple about Lucian. Of course, we've already talked about Ian. In the past, I've done the Brad and Randall thing. You know, we've already covered those topics. But Larry has certainly been a wild card because if you recall last season, Ian just kind of popped out of nowhere in regards to being a potential candidate for being the father of Alex's baby. But now this season, it might be Larry. Now, some clues, we have some clues that could point towards this, but let me put it this way. If Larry isn't the father of Alex's baby or newborn, whatever you want to call it, I think at the very least he may have been that one guy who made Alex feel a way she's never felt before. Someone who she says was even better than Ian. Now, if you remember, she said that Ian was like, oh, you're like number 3. Oh, no, on my fun list. But let's see, in terms of like top 10, yeah, you'd be a number 3. But oh, there was this one guy. So that one guy, I'm assuming, is the number 1 guy who, you know, turned Alex inside out, if you will. And it wasn't me, guys. Sorry, but it wasn't me. But basically, we know that this one guy was someone that she felt was like everyone else. What I mean by that is, she lost touch with him. Basically, her attitude was a one and done kind of thing. It's almost like, you know, if you're on a diet and you only eat one cookie, you eat one burger, you eat one hot dog, you eat one slice of cake. It's not cheating because it's only one. That's pretty much Alex's attitude. She doesn't, you know, double dip, if you will, when it comes to her man outside of her marriage, except for Randall for whatever reason. But I think that was a matter of convenience due to the fact that he was next door. That's what I really feel it was. But let's look at some of the clues that Larry could have potentially been a partner or the baby daddy. We know that him and his wife Mandy are, well, apparently swingers. Well, Larry is black, and it seems like Alex's or Jennifer's fixation is definitely on black men. Based on, you know, Alex talking about how she never felt that way before, we know Larry is a freak. Both Larry and his wife seem to be what was it called? What was it, SMS bondage or whatever that is? That's basically could be something that I doubt Alex ever experienced with another partner, which is ironic because, you know, she's been with Randall so many times, and then according to, you know, Larry and Randall, they tried it once, but Randall wasn't into it, hence why Larry is so adamant on getting Randall to do it again, but he doesn't want to. I mean, you could argue that Jennifer Pepper was maybe on the list, you know, that list, because what was it, Mandy told Larry, hey, Allison, she's too needy, we need to take her off the list. Like, oh really, man, are you sure? She was really fun. So I'm wondering if maybe Larry wanted to add Jennifer Pepper to the list, but Jennifer, you know, wasn't down to communicate with him again. One could argue that if Jennifer Pepper contacted Larry again online, if they did meet on the online dating site, it's possible she have been a candidate. For all we know, Jennifer Pepper might be on the list. But of course, due to not contacting Larry again, she never got removed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, maybe she got removed because she never contacted him again, but you just never know. I mean, we know that Larry's down for whatever. And let's see here. I mean, think about it this way. Don't you think it's kind of an interesting or weird thing that Tyler Perry is heavily focusing on that part of Larry's character this season? I mean, we're 3 episodes in. He's been in what? Every episode so far. I think episode 1, him and him and Eddie outside of his house. Episode 2, Randall goes over to the house, and then episode 3, Larry comes over to Randall's place. And in each scene, he's really pushing the whole punishment, bondage, sexual thing. That's been his character this season, which is kind of a contrast to how he was last season, the calm, cool, collected one trying to get Randall in check, but Randall's the one who's just losing his damn mind. So I feel like that's something we need to take notice of. For example, like I've already done the video about why does Lucien have baby fever all of a sudden? Baby fever? An unidentified parental figure that we're still missing for Alex's newborn child who just happens to be black. There are so many factors in this that we really can't ignore. Also, you have to look at the fact that could Larry be the baby daddy but then gets killed by Eddie when he tries to run him over? I got a video coming out about that because it would be kind of weird if Larry gets killed and then we find out he's the baby daddy. I don't think that's going to be a thing that happens, but I think at the very least, Larry needs to be in the conversation. I know you're probably wondering, well, Jeremy, wasn't it in the, okay, I could be wrong, but wasn't it in the episode Jennifer? Was it Jennifer? I mean, that was the season finale last year. It was either Jennifer or the episode before that when Alex is talking with the board at the hospital with Dr. Ratston, and Larry and Randall come in, and that's when Randall finds out he's not the father based on the DNA test. And it's like, well, Jeremy, Larry and Alex were sitting right across from each other. That doesn't mean a damn thing to some extent. Number one, it was a professional setting. Definitely not the place for Larry to be like, hey, Jennifer, how are you doing? Nah, I don't think that's it. Also, you look at the fact that it definitely seems like Mandy and Larry keep things under wraps. You know, like there are a list of rules. Like it's possible that something in their rule book is like, hey, if we meet up or we randomly meet up with somebody from our list in person, you act casual like the freaky stuff you did last week and didn't happen. You just either, you know, say hey and you keep walking, or that's it. You don't really maintain conversation. Kind of like the, oh, it's daylight, so he has to go. So I feel like there's like a written, it's almost like, and I hate to use the comparison, like the 10 commandments or the law of the land when it comes to their SMS practices. Kind of like Alex when she saw Ian, it's like, I was hoping you didn't recognize me. I know who you were the moment we saw each other, but you know, I didn't want to think to bring it up. So I definitely feel like, yeah, if it is Larry, then it makes sense that they wouldn't even converse as if they had, you know, sex before. So once again, Larry, there are some clues that could point to him and Alex have hooking up. And the thing about this topic I like is the fact that it might seem a bit redundant for me to do videos on every single male character. However, I love the fact that there are so many breadcrumbs and clues and pieces of evidence that I'm not just talking out of my behind. I'm actually bringing some receipts as to why we shouldn't rule these certain people out. So with that being said, what do you think? Do you think Larry could potentially be the father of Alex's newborn child? And if so, what do you think is going to happen? We already saw Randall freak out and beat the hell out of Larry after he had found out about, you tricked me into signing those divorce papers for Marcy. That would be an interesting dynamic because, you know, lawyers are known to be slimy and everything, and that's definitely portrayed by Larry's character. So imagine him one-upping Randall once again. He went from tricking him into signing the divorce papers, and then also, wait, you've been screwing with Alex behind my back? That would actually be a pretty good story beat. And don't get me wrong, I think in terms of interesting characters to be the father, I've already done the video about Lucien, so definitely check that out on my If Loving You Is Wrong Season 5 playlist. But also, the Larry topic should be part of the conversation, if you ask me. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Makes sense to me in some aspects. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. We recently hit, within the past couple hours, 115,000 subscribers. The channel has been booming with views. I'm pleased to look at my Loving You Is Wrong videos, and I've seen a good number of them that I posted last week hit over 10,000 views. That has been a godsend because now the channel is doing well with If Loving You Is Wrong content like it was last year when I started reviewing the show. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Let's see if we can hit 100 likes on it. Follow me on social media. Links to all that good stuff is in the description below. Shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. If you want to join for as little as $2 a month for content that I don't post here on YouTube, feel free to do so. Or if you'd like to make more of a one-time donation on Cash App or PayPal, I'd really appreciate it. Not mandatory, but I'd really appreciate it all the same. And with that being said, let me go ahead and get to work on the Alex multiple personality theory.